Good morning all. Today I am going to discuss on concept called as looping, that is also known as iterative statements. So before we discuss what is looping statements, we should know what are your iterative statements, that is nothing but looping statements itself. So now let us discuss about looping statements. So looping is nothing but same set of statements are repeatedly executed for specified number of times until the condition is satisfied. Once the condition is not satisfied, I mean once the condition is failed, it is going to stop, that is loop is going to terminate. So why exactly we must use looping? Looping, suppose if we want to print the statements for multiple times or n number of times if we want to print. Suppose example, printf hello. If hello message has to be printed for 5 times or it has to be printed for 10 times, then we should not write so many times. So to avoid this, we are going to use the concept called as looping. So using looping, we can print n number of statements using the concept of looping. So now we have 3 types of languages in looping, that is known as for loop, while loop and do while. So these are your 3 different types of looping languages, for, while and do while. So when we shall discuss this in this topic, so that is nothing but while, do while and for loop. So to use them, we are going to use another types of loops, that is called as entry controlled and exit controlled. Entry controlled is also known as pre-test loop and exit control loop is also known as post-test loop. So we shall discuss what are this entry controlled and what is exit controlled loops. So first we will discuss what is entry control loop. So we are going to see here one flow diagram. This is related to entry control loop and this is related to exit control loop. So first I am going to discuss on entry control loop. So now here is one flow diagram which is related to entry control. So before we discuss this flow diagram, we should know what is entry control loop. Entry control loop is nothing but here the condition is checked at the beginning itself. If the condition is true, then only the loop is going to enter the block and then it is going to execute number of times. If the condition is false, then it is going to not enter the block and it is going to terminate. So now in this flow diagram, first at the entry level only it is going to check the condition. If the condition is true, then it is going to enter the body, and if it is true, then the iterations will continually executed. Now if condition is false, then it is going to stop, that is called as entry control loop. Now we'll come to exit control loop. So this acts as opposite to entry control loop. So what is exit control loop? First the statements are executed. If the statements are executed for once at least, whether true or false if the condition is, after executing the body of the loop, it is going to check the condition. If the condition is true, then again the block will be repeatedly executed. If the condition is false, then it is not going to enter the block and it is going to terminate. So these are known as entry controlled and exit controlled loop. Entry controlled is also known as pre-test loop and exit controlled is also known as post-test loop. So using this, we are going to discuss what is while and do while in the concept. So now coming to while. So while is nothing but it is a looping statement. So in while what happens? So first here at the beginning itself the condition is checked. If the condition is true, then only the loop is going to enter the body and it is going to execute the statements based on the condition until the condition is satisfied. Once the condition is false, it is going to terminate. I mean it is going to come out of the loop and the loop iteration will be stopped. So this is called up as while loop. So the text expression here, it will be keeping on checking until the condition is true. Once the condition is false, it is going to terminate. So we'll discuss related to this while loop, what is the syntax and what is the flow diagram. So syntax, here we need to begin with a while keyword and here open the parenthesis, write the test expression. Test expression is nothing but the condition. So if the condition is true, then it is going to enter the body. So inside the body we are going to write the set of statements here. So the body of the loop will be enclosed within open brace and close brace. So this is the syntax of the while loop. So here once the condition is true, then it is going to enter the body and it is going to execute the set of statements. So until the condition becomes false. Once the condition becomes false, it is going to come out of the loop and it is going to terminate. So this is the syntax of the while loop. So now next we are going to discuss on the flow diagram. So here this is called as entry level. So at the entry level, at the beginning itself, we are going to check the condition. If the condition is true, then only it is going to enter the body. So if the condition is true, it is going to enter the body, and inside the body whatever the statements are there, it is going to execute until your condition is satisfied or until your condition is true. Once the condition is true, the set of statements are executed, you will get the result. And if suppose if the condition is not satisfied or if it is false, then it is going to terminate. Means it is going to come out of the loop and it is going to terminate. That is, it is going to exit. So this is the flow diagram. So first you are going to check at the entry level the condition, and if the condition is true, then only it is going to enter the body, and the statements will be repeatedly executed until the condition becomes true, and once the condition becomes false, it is going to come out of the loop. So this is about your while loop. So this is about your while loop. So this is your syntax and this is your flow diagram. So next we will discuss on one of the example of while loop. So here is one program which prints the numbers from 1 to 5. Suppose if I want to print the numbers from 1 to 5. So this is your example using while loop, how you are going to write. So first we need to include the header files, then following that main function. So we need to declare here one index variable I is equals to 1. So this is the declaration. So I is equals to 1 because we are going to start from 1 to 5. We are going to print from 1 to 5. So I is equals to 1. So your syntax we need to write here, that is while, open the parenthesis, write here I less than or equals to 5. So this is nothing but your test expression, or it is nothing but a condition. So I less than or equals to 5. I value is nothing but 1. 1 less than or equals to 5. So condition is true here because 1 is less than or equals to 5. If the condition is true, then it is going to enter the block. So whatever statements are inside the block, that statements will be executed. So example, printf %d new line comma I. Why we are going to write here %d? Because it is a integer. We have declared I value as integer because we are going to display the numbers from 1 to 5. So you need to write here format specified %d new line so that you can print one below another, and write the variable list I++. Now after updating this, compulsory we need to include, that is I++. I++ is nothing but a update counter. Update counter means we are going to update the values. We are going to increase the values because initially your I value is 1 here. So it will be incremented, means it will be I is equals to I plus 1. That is 1 plus 1, it will give you 2. So return 0. So this is about the example how we are going to write. So in the next slide I am going to discuss how to trace this 1 to 5 numbers. So same example, that is using while loop. So while I less than or equals to 5, printf %d new line comma I++. So this is the same example we are going to consider. Now here some of the iterations parts are there. So first one, I less than or equals to 5. So what is your I value here? 1. 1 less than or equals to 5. Yes, the condition is true. So now print I is equals to 1. So I is equals to I plus 1. Why? Because you are going to print here I value 1, and after that you are going to update the I value. So first condition will be checked. If condition is true, then the statements will be updated, and then later your increment counter will be updated. So this process will be continued until your test condition fails. That is nothing but when your I value becomes 6. So 6 less than or equals to 5. So this condition is failed. So your loop gets terminated. So this condition will be iterated until and unless when your condition becomes false. Then only it is going to stop. So this is about your while loop. So next concept I am going to discuss on do while. So do while. So this is also one of the looping concept. So do while is nothing but it is also a looping statement, but here we are going to execute the statement first at least for once. Later we are going to check the condition whether it is true or false. If the condition is true, then the same set of statements are repeatedly executed for number of times specified until the condition is satisfied. If the condition is false, then it is going to terminate or it is going to come out of the block. So this is about your do while. So first the statements will be executed at least for once. Later the condition at the exit level it is checked. So it is also known as post-test loop. While loop is known as pre-test loop because you are going to check the condition at the beginning itself. But here do while is known as post-test loop, or it is also known as exit control loop because you are going to check the condition at exit level. So here we are going to repeat the process again and again until the condition becomes false. So this is the syntax of do while. So first we need to write the keyword do, open the braces, and then write here body of the loop and close the brace, and write here while and test expression, end it with semicolon. So here at the exit level we are going to write the condition. So this is the flow diagram. So first the statements will be executed, then later your condition is checked at the exit level. If the condition is true, then the statements will be repeatedly executed until your condition is satisfied. Once your condition is false, then it is going to exit. So this is about your do while. So we'll see the same example what we have discussed for while loop. So that is nothing but to print 1 to 5 numbers. So here this is your header file, main function. Now again you are going to declare here int I is equals to 1. So here initialization at the time of declaration also can be done. Example, int I is equals to 1, and it with semicolon. So now you are going to write here do and then the statement. So statements can be written as printf %d /t, I. So %d is nothing but your format specifier. Because we are taking int I, so we need to write here format specifier %i to print the numbers one by one. So here after this executing the statements, we need to increment the count, that is I plus plus. I is equals to I plus 1. So this is for updating the counter. So once the statements is executed, at exit level your condition is checked, that is while I less than or equals to 5. So that is 1 less than or equals to 5. If the condition is true, again the set of statements will be executed repeatedly. If the condition is false, then it is going to stop. So this is the example about your do while. So now here is the tracing part. So do printf %d /t, I plus plus, while I less than or equals to 5. So same code is available here. So this is the tracing, how we are going to check and how we are going to print 1 to 5 numbers. So first step, so initialization is there. So I is equals to 1. Then you need to print the statements at least for 1. So what is your I value? I is equals to 1. Same thing it will be displayed. Later your update counter will be incremented, that is I is equals to I plus 1. So it will be 2. So now after updating the counter, so next step will be your condition. You need to check your condition is true or false. So check the condition I less than or equals to 5. So 1 less than or equals to 5. Yes, the condition is true. So the process will be repeating until the condition becomes false. So this is about your while and do while. So hope you have understood. Thank you.